Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to introduce the panel. First of all, our moderator here, Ken Gale of Radio WBAI, and his radio show, well, actually does two radio shows. First one's Ecologic about ecology and the politics of it, and the economics of it, and ignore this. And that's on WBAI, and my connection with Ken and your connection with Ken would be more through his other radio show, which is slowly but surely making a comeback, and that is Enough Said, his comic book, comic strip, and any other related matter that has to do with comics, and that is on WBAI and ran for many years weekly.
Yeah, since 1993.
And now sporadically, and hopefully we'll be back soon, much more often. And here, as our guests, are three modern creators which prove to the public that comics are as great and as strong as ever. To my left here, my right, your left, well, whatever. That's why I'm an art teacher. I can't be a social studies teacher, I don't know geography. Is Jamal Igle, who I first got to know, I think, at one of the Ramapo cons?
No, was it one of the random cons?
It
might have been. It was a while. It was a while.
Long time ago. And he was
I don't want to say how long because I'm starting to date myself.
He was only this big.
Wee pixie. But yeah, so yeah, it had to have been at least.
It was over 10 years.
Yeah.
And back then he was just trying to break into the industry, and now
Mike wants you in the elevator lobby. Back.
Somebody else is trying to break in.
I hope I can find Mike too. And Jamal is currently doing one of the few books that seems to be going up in sales, which is at this point a wonderful joy to hear. He's doing Supergirl, and let me tell you, it is gorgeous, and she doesn't even have to have breasts the size of 2 bowling balls. And she's still absolutely adorable. So anyway, he's a terrific, terrific artist. Next to him is Sean Chen, who I've known even longer, since the days of Valiant Comics.
Right, from the
And
offices. Yeah.
he has become one of Marvel's great artists, and I'm not lying, I'm telling you the damn truth. He is wonderful, and his work was really good back at Valiant, and it leaves his Valiant work in the dust. He's become so good, and you're doing mostly a lot of their prestige kind of, not prestige books, but a lot of their
the mini-series type things. Right now it's Dark Reign Fantastic Four, which I just wrapped up. And right now, because I have a baby, I'm kind of like just jumping around between like very short stints, like 3 issues here, just so that I don't fall behind. So nothing like, you know, no headline book or anything, but just kind of like in between books right now.
Really, I've heard from like all my friends who are writers who just have babies. They actually do more work. How do people work out? This kid has to go to college. This kid's going to need a car at age 18, and that's certainly my motivation. I was thinking I need to find a baby. I'll get more done. I can rent me mine if you want. Interesting. I think there's something about that on Craigslist.
And the gentleman who just talked about getting his own baby is Dan Slott, our writer of the group, and Dan has written some of my favorite series of the last few years on the Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, with Arkham Asylum Living Hell.
Living Hell, which was really good with Ryan Sook.
With Ryan Sook, yeah.
And then he went on to what I think is the funniest run of a superhero comic in years with She-Hulk.
Yeah.
And now he's doing one of the high-profile books at Marvel, Mighty Avengers, the conservative Avengers.
The Avengers.
Yes. And so anyway, this should be a panel telling you how great comics still are. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Ken, it's all yours.
Well, thanks, Alan. Hopefully this will be on WBAI New York, 99.5 FM. That was my station ID. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this back and forth, so, you know, talk about this. Okay. And I should get air quality sound. And I do come back, this would be kind of cool to start with.
Okay.
But anyway, let's jump right into the middle of things. And what should a good editor do?
What should a good editor do? A good editor is part traffic cop, part school teacher, and part mom, actually. Honestly, a good editor
knows how to motivate the creators that he's working with, inspire the creators that he's working with, and hover just enough that you're not being overbearing. No, well, am I right? As long as you're not being overbearing. See, I've been really lucky. I've been working like the last couple of years with guys like Steve Wacker and Teacher Mossy.
And Steve isn't hovering and overbearing.
Well, not to me. He doesn't. No, usually they just leave me alone.
See, I think it depends on who the talent is. I think a good editor view is what you need. So I guess what I need is someone to be over cracking the whip, cracking the whip. I think that's another good thing is about an editor will change their style for whoever the freelancer is.
I think that's true.
Yeah, I knew an editor. I'm not going to say who it was. Who back in the day, he had an annual to get out. And everybody on the team, this is when they'd have like a lead feature, all these little mini backups. Everyone on the team had gotten all their stuff in, except one guy with an 8-page backup. And the book's going to miss shipping, and there's one guy with a stupid little 8-page backup. And if this guy had just called up the editor and said, I can't do it. You know, I'm slowing down. They could have found like 20 guys who could have done this 8-page story and got it done quickly. But instead the guy kept going, oh, I'm going to get it in, it's already done, it's on the way, I'm already there, and then get like a FedEx box with 1 page in it. Oh, I didn't put all 8 in there? I'll get that to you tomorrow. And the story after story, the FedEx box showing up with no pages in it. Oh, didn't I put it in there? I could have sworn I put it in. And then the guy...
Come on, I'm right here.
That was really good. No, then the guy, he unplugs his phone. He's not taking any phone calls. The editor doesn't have any way to reach him. And then the guy's like putting his phone jack back in and calling the editor at ludicrous times at night, going, I tried to reach you, so the message is
but it's reading at 4 a.m.
Exactly. So I used to be on staff at the time, and one night I just decided I'm just going to barrel through all my work. It wasn't an editorial job. And I'm just going to get everything done so I don't have to worry about it this week. And I'm there late at night. No one else is at Marvel. It's like lights are shut off and I'm still working in my office. And I walk down the hall and there's that editor's light on. And I'm like, what the? And he's just perched there by the phone. He camped out. So when this SLB calls him at like 11:30 at night, he'll be there. And I'm talking to him like, hey, name of editor, what are you doing? He's telling me the story. And I'm like, oh, come on, there's no way the guy's going to ring, ring. And the smile that came over his guy's face. But he just like, you know, the top of his head almost fell off. He was smiling so much. He's got like, picks up the phone, he's like, hello. Well, yes, I am in at this time. You're fired! So sometimes that's what an editor does.
All right, Sean, follow that.
Well, actually, I kind of work with editors in a really strange way. I mean, I kind of go on autopilot, and they can kind of just let me go. So the editor is different for everyone, just like you said. And for me, it's just one that's just trust me enough to let me do my thing.
I think honestly, you and I have been around long enough and have been, you know, treated the way you're supposed to treat it as a job, as a profession. You know, usually when I'm working, they give me the script at the beginning of the month. Sometimes I turn in thumbnails, sometimes I don't. I just go, you know, and I just do it. I just show up every week with a batch of pages, you know, 5, 6, 7 pages, whatever. And they go, wow, this is great. Send it off to the inker, you know, and I'm back home, you know, drawing or playing with the baby. So
editors, I guess, work more with writers, because I know Tom Griefer's always on the phone with writers and never really talked to me. So.